Okay, what we're going to be doing is some wooden guitar picks on the CNC. This is the basic jig that I use to hold all the wood in place. One side is for the top of the pick. Once I do that side, I then flip it over. Everything lines up with the CNC and I do the other side. Cut them out, then I have four picks. I can make 4 at a time, or up to 4 at a time. Which makes it a lot easier. What I've got is a piece of flamed maple, which is about 3.5, 4 mil thick. So what we'll do is just set up on this side, put it roughly centre, and lock it in place with the tags. I'm using a 3.175 bit, which is 1/8 of an inch. I'll do this side in 2 stages. One is alignment holes and then the actual pick itself. So once that's lined up in place and tightened down, we'll start the machinery up to run it. First one is the alignment holes. That's all those done. Now what they're going to do is, once I flip it over, these pockets that I've put here will align up with these spigots here. So I'll just flip it over and I've got my position right once I flip it. But what I also use is a couple of 3mm screws to screw into these tapped holes, just to hold everything down. So now I need to drill the holes for those. It's those done. Now I normally have a vacuum hose connected to the machine so it sucks it as it goes. But because you need to be able to get the camera in to see what's happening, I need to open the lid, which means I'll lose my vacuum. So I'll clean up as we go. Now that I've cleaned this up, what we need to do is carve the first, or the top side of the picks. I'll be doing all 4 of them. This one makes a lot of mess because I'm hacking out a lot of timber from this piece. Once that's done, then we flip it over and do the back. So I'll start the machine up for that. That's all the top's done. Just give this a quick vacuum. Remove all the dust. Now what we're going to do is just unbolt it. Take it out of the top part of the jig. Turn it straight over. Lock it down onto the bosses. And I'll just put 4 screws straight into it. The machine is already set up for doing this size, or this side I should say. All the zeros are preset in the software, so I should be able to just go straight in, push the go button and have it cut out this side. So these 4 screws just hold it in place. That's good enough for me. Okay, well that's that lot done. Another cleaner. We've got 4 basic picks, which for normal picks I'd do the cutout now, and then they just need a bit of polishing up. But because the customer wants his logo engraved on it, I'm going to also have to engrave his logo in the thumb recess. So what we'll do is change the tool, take out the 1/8 bit, and we'll put in a 0.1 V bit. So take that out, change the tool, reset my Z-axis 0. There's the Z-axis set. So now what we'll do is engrave it. There's the logo's done. Clean that out a little. Now while it's there, what I will do is get some 1200 paper and clean up inside there. And just smooth that off a bit. Smooths that out a little. and with a couple of drops of CA glue. On each one, in the thumb recess, a little bit of waxed paper. It'll harden up the grain of the wood. And this does two things. It gives me a cleaner engraving, and also fills the grain, so when I colour fill it, it doesn't bleed into the wood. So now we'll have to wait 5 minutes for that to flash off. Okay, now because I've put some super glue on this surface to harden it up, I use a little bit of sandpaper, basically rub off the thumb indentation. I think that's 400 grit. Then with a bit of 1200 grit, smooth it all off again. So hopefully now the pores of the wood have been filled. But of course I filled up the engravings as well. But that's fine because it's easy enough just to do it again. I haven't reset any zeros. So we'll start again. Hopefully that's done this time. Another check. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, they're all good. So now what I'm ready to do is cut out the actual shape. Bring the machine forward again. Remove that tool. And put in a 1mm end mill. Reset. Reset the zeros again. Lock it up. And cut the shape out. Clean up the dust. And we have 4 picks, rough cut, ready to be cleaned up with a bit of sandpaper. You can see 4 breakout tabs there. So what I put those in so the picks don't break out of the main part. What I need to do is cut those 4 out and sand them off. So once they're broken away from the backing piece, we'll finish with that. I now have a rough pick that needs to be a little bit cleaned up. Here's one I did earlier. So all the edges there are cleaned up. It's sanded first off with 400 grit paper and then down to a piece of 1200. So that's ready for filling. I need to do that 3 more times. So what I do is just use a needle file to get rid of the tabs, little bump that's left. A bit of sandpaper. And just clean some of the wood shavings off a bit. Do both sides. A bit of 1200. A bit of a dust. There's another one finished.